Arnold Palmer and his senior tour career, as well as the things he does after his professional golf career was over. So Jack Nicklaus went to Ohio State University and studied pre-pharmacy and insurance, and he graduated in 1961. While he was at OSU, he won the amateur championship in 1959 and again in 1961, where he also added an NCAA title. In Jim Murray's article in 1985 in the LA Times, he writes that Jack Nicklaus looked like a sack of pork chops rolling down the fairway. And he continues on in his article and says that if his career was a tale of two Jacks, one that looked like the sack of pork chops, and then the second one, he lost all the weight, got down to 190 pounds, and was able to keep the power, which when you lose a lot of weight as a golfer, you lose weight in your trunk, which cannot get the ball down the fairway as easy, but he was able to keep the power. So Jack turned pro in 1962, and that is when he won his first tournament, his first major tournament on the PGA Tour. It was that tournament that many articles say that the rivalry between Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer began. So in 1962 at the US Open at Oakmont, Jack Nicklaus won his first major tournament against Arnold Palmer in an 18-hole playoff. And Doug Ferguson says that it was the number one of the top 5 golf tournaments ever played at Oakmont. Doug also continues to write in 2018 after talking to Jack Nicklaus, and Jack talked about a driving contest that him and Arnold Palmer had that day. On the first tee, Arnold hit it on the green, and Jack Nicklaus drove it 30 yards past him. And Jack always said to Arnold, "Hey, AP, I drove it 30 yards past you." But Arnold would say, "Yeah, but I shot a 63 that day, and you shot a 67. And Arnold would continue on and say that if I didn't 3-putt 9 times in 1962, no one would have ever heard of you. The rivalry was good. We'll always have it. It's going to be there whether people write about it or not. It has nothing to do with how we feel about each other, and it'll be here long after we're gone," says Arnold Palmer in a Fort Lauderdale Sun-Sentinel to Peace. And Stephen Nesbitt from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette says that Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and Gary Player were responsible for bringing golf on TV in the 1960s, and also bringing golf into a major play in U.S. culture at the time. So Jack won 6 Masters and was one British Open championship away from completing the Grand Slam 4 times. So after 73 wins and at the age of 50, Jack Nicklaus joined the senior tour. From 1990 all the way through 1996, Jack won 10 Senior Open championships, and he played a very selective amount of tournaments when he was on the senior tour, and most of them were the majors. And finally, in 2005, Jack Nicklaus played his final hole of golf at the old course of St. Andrews, and on the 18th hole, he waved goodbye on the Swillican Bridge right before making a birdie putt on the 18th with his longtime friend Tom Watson. So after 118 tournament wins on the amateur circuit, in the PGA Tour, and on the senior tour, Jack Nicklaus decided to focus on things after golf. Jack has written 72 books, one titled Golf My Way, which also has a video out by the same title. He also started a golf course design company, that has designed 410 golf courses in 45 different countries. And Jack Nicklaus has also designed 300 by himself. And the last thing of note is his memorial tournament that he hosts every year in Dublin, Ohio, at the Murrayfield Country Club, and it is a premier golf tournament, and most big-name golfers show up. It's impressive that a pudgy kid from Columbus, Ohio, has been able to be so influential. We have discussed the articles that have made him, that has presented him as such an influential member in the U.S. culture at the time. We've discussed his early career, his rivalry with Arnold Palmer, his senior tour, and his post-career. And to quote Dan Jenkins from his piece in the ESPN Classics Sports Century series, he wanted to be in the history book.